Shalom family, Most High Christ bless. IUIC Gastonia, cuts from the street. I'm here to bring you another controversial topic. Today's topic is for our beloved sister, Shanquella Robinson. It was unfortunate for her death, and we're out here to bring awareness and engage with the minds of the people, and hopefully somebody will be edified today. Shalom.
We are taking a closer look tonight at the letter attorneys for Shanquella Robinson's family just sent to the White House, demanding more action over her death in Cabo San Lucas in late October. You remember that she traveled with a group who then returned to the States, and they said that she died from alcohol poisoning, while the medical examiner's office says that she died from a broken neck. So this letter names the person attorneys say is a suspect, and she is another woman from this group. The letter says the woman is a suspect in what's called a femicide. So the Wilson Center says femicide is a specialized murder term in Mexico. It applies when the victim is female and there are other circumstances in her death showing she's targeted because she is a woman. It does include sexual violence, if the victim and the suspect had an emotional, physical, or otherwise trusting relationship, and if the victim's body was publicly exposed or exhibited. And there are other circumstances that could be involved with this. We don't exactly know which of these circumstances or how many authorities believe related specifically to Robinson's case, but we do know that video circulated after her death shows her naked and being attacked in a villa, and we also know she was supposed to be traveling with friends when she died.
Shalom family, Most High Christ bless. We out here in downtown Charlotte, and I have here with me
Keyshawn
and
Jatavia.
And we got my brother right here,
Anthony.
Brother Anthony, all right?
This is IUIC Gastonia with Cuts from the Street. Kaz, and I'm here with
Marcus. What up, though?
What's going on, Marcus? All right, so we're dealing with a controversial topic right now. The Shanquella Robinson murder, as they calling it. She was on a trip with her friends, wound up dead, and the justice for her death has yet to be resolved. So we got a couple questions we want to ask you. The first question is, when choosing a friend or considering friendship, what are some qualities that you think are imperative before calling somebody your friend?
Me personally, like selflessness, you know what I mean? Like if you I could peep out, like I could peep when somebody not genuine and sincere, you know what I mean? You know, intuition, vibes, you know. But I would say selflessness, like, because a lot of people, you know what I mean, man, these times we living in, people is grimy, shiesty, slimy, you know what I mean? So you could kind of tell who ended the winning and who genuine, sincere. You know, that's what you want to look for when you're looking for it, you know what I mean? But
Don't set yourself up for trusting everybody, man, and looking for friendship. You know, those happen organically. I guess it's simple. Treat people how you want to be treated, man, and you know, you can see a lot on how somebody carried themselves. That's what I would do in looking for a friend. Or
again, we're out here to shed light on our beloved sister Shanquella Robinson. So I'm gonna start with you, and I want to ask you, based off of what happened to her, it was very unfortunate, and with that being said, she died in the hands of her so-called friends. So I will ask you, if you're out there with your boys, what qualities would a person have to be in your circle, be in your crew?
I say I'm big on energy, and energy doesn't lie. So it's like, but as a friend, you gotta I gotta know you for a while to be named a friend, because not everybody your friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, and shit like that happens like a lot.
Okay. How about you, sis? What qualities should a friendship have for that to be called your friend?
I feel like the qualities a friend should have is to be there for your friends and not do anything to harm them in a way. So I feel like in Shanquella's situation, they should have been there for her instead of beat her to her death, because that was definitely wrong.
Local Mexican authorities later releasing the police report stating the cause of death as cardiac arrest. Salamandra says days later, the friends returned to the States after their vacation. But as the family grieved, Salamandra says she received a disturbing call.
I got a call from somebody, I didn't even know who it was, and they said that they was over there fighting that girl. And that's the way they left it, just like that.
So someone just called you, said that, and then hung up?
And hung up. Said they was over there fighting. I don't know why they keep talking about alcohol poison.
Salamandra telling us she confronted the friends about that call when they visited her at home in Charlotte, North Carolina.
They was crying and say they never had a fight. They even sit here and say they was picking out what they was wearing to the funeral. They sit down here and we was talking about what colors we was gonna wear and what we was gonna do, and they sit here and say, pick out what they was wearing to the funeral.
As Shanquella's family was making plans for her funeral, they received bombshell news contradicting everything they'd been told by the so-called friends and the police report.
When they called me and the autopsy came back, it all made sense.
According to the death certificate from Mexico, the 25-year-old died from a severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, a dislocated neck. There was no mention of alcohol or cardiac arrest, and the approximate time of death was at 3 p.m., just 15 minutes after the injuries.
Being that you can peep, you say you can peep like vibes, you can see, you know, if this person a good person, this person somebody I should stay away from. If you were in the situation with Shanquella Robinson, it was said that a couple of the clerks or the people that had noticed her and her friends had seen that the friends was kind of off, like their vibe was off. If you saw that her friends' vibes were off, what kind of advice would you give her if you had seen that prior to her dying?
But see, but they probably didn't know why. You feel me? Like something ain't right with them people, but you don't know what they got up their sleeve, you know what I mean? Unless you're a psychic. You see, me personally, if I was a clerk, I would just watch them, make sure they don't do me no harm, you feel me? But I'd be like, something ain't right with them. But where were the clerks at, in Mexico? Yeah. Then there's a lot of shystiness in Mexico, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of poverty at, you're gonna find some ground, you know what I mean?
They noticed that her vibe was off. So if you was there, but you don't know what's about to go down, what advice would you give Shanquella if you saying like, okay, the friends are not really, you feel the vibe is off, what advice would you give?
The advice I would give her is to choose your friends very wisely. Don't make decisions too quickly based on who you're around or who you grew up with, because everybody will not be your friend, and always, even if they show a different side, always make sure you believe in that intuition and always go by that.
Okay, how about you? Spidey senses is going off. Oh, yeah. You feel like something's not right.
That energy.
What advice would you would have given her that day?
I say I'm gonna go back to what she was saying, like to choose your friends wisely. But sometimes like you don't know, like it'd be a friend, but then like years later they like show their true colors, which probably what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely before you go out the country, know who you're dealing with and who you're traveling with. I mean, I guess they, obviously they were too young to realize that was important on knowing exactly who you're traveling with. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't find friends and establish friends over the internet and social media platforms. You have to know people, be around people, instead of taking what you see off of a page and thinking that's who they are. You know what I mean? Yeah. I definitely wouldn't travel with nobody who I'm not familiar with. So I guess that's a learning experience for the youth. Definitely know who you're traveling with in your circle.
So when we look at what happened, with the way the whole situation has happened with her, from not transporting her body back in a timely manner back to the U.S., from the prosecutors not wanting to prosecute all three of her friends, do you feel like the same effect would have happened if it would have happened if Shanquella was a white woman?
That part. Like, that's a good question. Like, and I would say no. But then again, like, I don't know, because People are crazy. Like, people are really crazy. Like, no. No.
Okay. How about you?
Well, I feel like it would have still happened. It's just with if a white person, they would have got lesser. You know what I'm saying? Then Shanquella got barely anything. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really give her the benefit of the doubt of even caring while her body was there.
Man, that's a no-brainer. Hell yeah, it'd be treated differently. Like if her people was from, if you ain't from Charlotte, this where we at. We in Charlotte. But if her people was from Ballantyne, like Providence, you know what I mean? Oh boy, and they was black that killed her. Oh yeah, it'd have been a done daughter. Them people be like, yeah, they'll be awaiting trial right now. Like, just like when America wanted El Chapo, what they did, they went and got his ass. You know what I'm saying? Put pressure on the Mexican government, certain Mexican officials. Like America, like if they want you, they gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? Like in certain countries.
Sort of familiar with the energy that the U.S. have with Mexico. That I don't see why they would be enthused about anything that happened with U.S. citizens. I just don't think they're that much concerned with U.S. citizens first off, you know, and getting to the bottom of anything in a speedy manner or whatever. I just don't think that that's not on their priority list.
We share some of the same sentiments. We are a Bible-based group, so there are a couple of scriptures that we kind of want to read to shed a little bit of light on this whole situation and show why possibly it's going the way that it's going. Let me get an armor bearer. Nothing happens outside of the will of the Lord, is what we believe, right? So the scriptures tell us ways that we should vet people, ways that we should conduct ourselves, things to avoid and things to pursue, right? Let's check out one of the things that the Lord tell us to avoid. Read.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 23 verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
It says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Typically, when our people get together, we go on vacation trips with y'all young college students, potentially. These are situations that we're typically reveling. We're typically going out partying, right? They said that her friends, quote unquote friends, said that the cause of death was alcohol poisoning, which means that there was an overindulgence in drinking in general, or at least that's the story that they was pushing, which means that they were doing things that the Bible tells us not to do. The Bible tells us to drink in moderation. It tells us that wine, measurably drunk, is good for you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but you seen the I seen the videos. It was more than just alcohol going on.
Exactly.
Like it was an altercation. You know what I mean? Most certainly.
That is accurate. Now, biblically speaking, let's see the accuracy of it. Now, Sirach chapter 8, verse 15.
The book of Sirach chapter 8 and verse 15.
Because you mentioned traveling and knowing what ilk of people you're dealing with and their background and so forth, right? Read.
Travel not by the way with a bold fellow.
Right, with a bold fellow or someone who would be inclined to do things like breaking laws, carrying something on them they're not supposed to have, doing clandestine activity in your midst where you would be caught up with them in regards to that. Same thing we tell our children, you know, who is that you dealing with? You know, let me find out, you know, no, don't go out and do that with them. Or, no, you going on a road trip with who? Nah, I don't feel that as your father. You see what I'm saying? Read that again.
Travel not by the way with a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee.
Yeah, you'll be grieved by his behaviors and so forth, or his mannerisms, or the mentality that they have when it comes to light is truly despicable or even murderous in some cases. Read.
For he will do according to his own will.
He gonna do whatever he want to feel like doing. Read.
And thou shalt perish with him through his folly.
And through that folly, that person could cause you to lose your life. So that's something that you actually brought out. I heard that scripture within the midst of your speech right there. So,
okay. So we are a Bible-based group, and I would like to enlighten with you all with a few scriptures before we head out your way. Gotcha. All right? Rita, let me get Ciroc 6 and 7.
If I would have get a friend, prove him first.
So, just like I asked both of you all, what qualities will we have in a friend? And you said energy, you said safety, and that's things that we will have to prove them on based upon that. And that's not something that can happen overnight.
No.
Right?
That's a fact.
Keep going.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Because I believe one of you said it would take a while. I forgot who said that. I think it was you. It would take a while.
That's a label. That's a big label. That's like
Right.
that's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Relationship that's big. That's like a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a while. Like you gotta prove that friendship, and it'd be a small ass circle.
Right. Keep going.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
Meaning that some people want to hang out with you for their own benefit
That's
because
a
they
fact.
see something out of you.
Because your energy, they want to like grasp on that energy because they feel like that like it like helps them in a way, and then like once they get it and get all of it, they change. You know what I'm saying? That-
Because again, we waiting on justice for the sister's death, right? Persecutions to happen. Nothing's happening. Why? Watch this.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes has yet failed for vain help.
As for us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, our eyes fail for vain help. Pointless help, useless help, read.
And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
We've watched for a nation that cannot save us. We waiting on justice from a judicial system that put us in race in captivity, in slavery,
Right.
that bred us in Jim Crow,
And
right?
Right. And haven't gave us reparation yet.
And haven't given us reparations.
You know why? Because they ain't finished tearing us up.
Absolutely not. They're going the system is set up for us to be destroyed. Always, it's not for us to be destroyed until we ready to wake up, or until we ready to be with the white man. Okay, they ready to. That's when they let the chains off. But to this day, our people are in captivity. We still in servitude to the so-called white man, right? Their help is not for us. When you read the Constitution, those laws, those amendments, all of that is for them. That's not for us.
Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 25. We lay down in our shame, and our confused covers us, for we have sinned against the Lord our God.
So when it says we lie down in shame and confusion has covered over this. The shame because it's a shame that another black woman would get killed or another black man would get killed. And all the evidence is on there, whether it's on camera or if we have the evidence, the crime scene, everything. But justice will still not be brought forth. So that's a shame. And then it's confusion because we'll go out there, we'll march, we'll vote, we'll protest, but we still wouldn't get anywhere far. Why? Because it says our sins is the reason why that this happened. Keep going.
We and our fathers from our youth even unto this day have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God.
So the reason why this is happening to us, to our beloved brothers and sisters, is because of the sins that we're doing today. Our sins are affecting other people.
We have watched for a nation that could not save us. That's who we waiting on justice from. We waiting on justice from a nation that can't save us. So we're going to continue to be looking. This is not going to be the last situation. Rasheed Carter, he just got murdered in Taylorsville a month ago, and no justice. Breonna Taylor, no justice. Trayvon Martin, no justice. Mike Brown, no justice. All of these people have not received justice. Why? Because we have looked for help from a nation that cannot save us. So that's what we came out here for, Marcus. We came out here to engage with the minds of our people, to see intelligent brothers like yourself, intelligent sisters, to voice their opinion, and to give them thus saith the Lord, so that we can find a common ground.
All right, family, that wraps up another episode of Cuts from the Street. We ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Hopefully this brings more attention, more awareness to Shanquella's family. We send out our deepest condolences. And we ask that you go ahead and be mindful of who you hang around with. Be mindful of the friends that you choose, okay? With that, we say shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.